can either build your future or quietly destroy it. So on today's show, as we speak about self-image, it can either we ask ourselves a question: is your self-image, or the way you think about yourself, empowering you or limiting you in some way or another? So how does it affect your parenting? How does it affect your relationship? How does it affect your career? How does it affect your success? And today I'm sitting with a very incredible man and someone who has changed a lot of people's life through personal development, and he's a personal development specialist, and that is going to be Dr. Semalu Charles. Very welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We're very, very happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And without wasting any time, we're going to get it right here and then. Doctor, what exactly is self-image? And how exactly is it formed? When we hear self-image, when we speak about self-image, most of us might know that self-image is the way you think or see yourself. But what exactly, or how exactly would you say is self-image, and how exactly is it formed?
Yeah, definitely. That's what you've just said. As self-image refers how someone defines themselves, how they introduce themselves, how they define who they are. It's a little bit of a contradiction on so many things. Now, this personal story that we tend to develop about ourselves shapes a lot. Yeah. And in most cases, it happens in the unconscious processes of our own lives. Like, we don't intend to live that way. It is something that we... But because people deep down, they know they do not qualify, so they tend to make it a little bit a desperate kind of conversation that, oh, all of what I want is a job. It's okay, we can talk about salaries and payments in the near future. No, I don't want to have someone in a company who doesn't know who they are, because they are going to get my company lost. Yeah. So if you don't know who you are, then how can you shape the vision and the destiny of the company? So these are some of the indicators. Some of the indicators that show that probably someone doesn't so much believe, they are not comfortable with the conversations they have about themselves. It starts with, ask people. This is one of the toughest conversations. I mean, the toughest questions about, someone who can come when they are getting hired. I have this experience, I have this experience. That they feel they will be in a position to control, because they believe you cannot control a sharp woman. They believe they cannot be in a position to control an intelligent woman. Yeah. So it's a little bit easier for them to get a little bit comfortable with a person they feel with their resources I'm referring to what they have within themselves, and terms of property that they can have to control someone. Yes. So that's all self-image. Yeah. Self-image is what determines the kind of relationship that you're going to get into. It's that story. Because if I know I'm good, I should be in a position to convince myself that I'm good enough to go in for someone that is good like me. But if I feel inferior, if I feel that inferiority complex in me, that means I'm going to set up a pace, I'm going to set a bar so low such that I can be in a position to get comfortable. Because every time you get into conversation with this person, you're going to feel uncomfortable. Now you're going to start fighting yourself. A person. Now, poverty is not having money or not. Poverty is a mindset. Yeah, it's just a mindset that even when someone has been in position to get certain amount of money, they don't have the software that can accommodate this money at comfort. So they start leaking. Some habits start showing out because they are feeling uncomfortable that what I have is not good enough for me. So they start picking up things, they start quarreling, they start, buying a lot of beer, because inside they feel inferior. So they want to show out everyone that now I have the money, let me buy all the bottles and show the rest of the people. So poverty is a mindset. Yes, so self-image shows up in each and every angle of our own lives. Yeah. That's why in serious organizations, when you go and have a conversation, the first story they ask you is, tell me about your family. How were you brought up? So that show up, they leak out. Okay, not all of us are perfect. It's a little bit hard for us to raise a competent, perfect human being that's 100%. Yeah. All of us have leaks. I mean, we have leakages, So it becomes out a problem when it is coming from the unconscious. Now, at leadership level, we talked about that one of the biggest approaches that certain countries have done, when they get to understand that someone is really perfect, but they have this problem. Yes. They don't want to be told. Maybe let's first start with that. What are some of the indicators? What are some of the indicators? What are some of the causes of poor self-image. Now, poor self-image is what some people call low self-esteem. Yeah, but that's a shallow perspective. Some people call it low self-esteem. Some people call it low confidence. Some people call it that. You understand? But the bigger picture is self-image. It's that unconscious definition that you have about the self, and that's who you are, right? So the point is, we have what we call the me and the I in human growth and development. The me is the social construction. Like, for instance, I am a man, I'm born in the Central, I'm a black man, I'm a Ugandan, I'm an African, I'm a Catholic. You know, that's the social construct. Now, that's what we call the self. Now, there's what we call the I. Now, the I would be the divinity in me. But that time, I was working in an office I was not comfortable to go with him in that area. I don't know if you're getting me. Now, for him, lunch in Kampala is a place where you go for 3,000. Some good food, well prepared by certain women down Nasa Road. Now, because of the office where I was, it was a little bit of uncomfortable for me to go in such an area. So, I'm like, let's try to divide this. You take me out for lunch this week, I take you out for lunch. It's a little bit very, very hard at relationships. Because how do we become good husbands and good wives? It's by going through the experiences that we've seen at home. How is mommy being treated by dad? How is dad being treated by mom? That's marriage. That's the best masterclass for marriage. You don't get married and then you go to church, they put blessings on you, and you think that you're going to have a successful marriage. That's almost impossible. So the biggest challenge that you have to look at is that through the experiences that we go through, most especially when you are before 7 years of age, they shape up a lot and they define who we are. So beyond 70%, we just live by the definitions, by the limitations that were set for us within that period of time.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. And for the 7 years part of a child, you guys should go on our YouTube channel and watch it, because we did a whole show about that. It will help you to actually groom your kids. So, Doctor, at what age of life does self-image start or begin to take shape? At what time does someone start having that mindset of seeing themselves the way they do see themselves in, I don't know, in any way? Someone might, other people see themselves highly, others see themselves, I can't do, like you've given us an example of your friend. For him, he feels like the moment he eats above 3K, that's too much. It feels like that's really a lot of money, even when another person pays for the food. So at what age does life, or does life start to, does someone start to they get the image of self-image? At what stage of life does that actually happen?
It varies from individual to individual. There is no specific standard measure by which, because growth and development varies from individual to an individual. We don't have a specific standard, but so much grows. I'll give you an example. There was a project that was supported by the UN. It was called AMISOM, African Mission for Somalia. Now, all African countries that didn't have borders with Somalia were asked to bring in soldiers to go and fight on the side of Somalia. You understand? Now, one of the countries that took most of the soldiers was Uganda, right? And by the arrangement, by the design of that arrangement, the country that had brought most soldiers was supposed to take over the command of the mission. Now, that country was Uganda. So by the arrangement, so all the generals meet and sit, and they go like, okay, Uganda, the command of this mission is supposed to be yours. You know what happened? Or Ugandan generals said, for us, leadership of this mission as Uganda, for us, we don't care. What we care about is as long as Somalia gets stable. Then a Nigerian commander says, no, but you guys, you have the biggest, you know. It was very, very hard to convince the Ugandan military leaders to be in a position to take over the out. It comes from within. Now, during the time of growth and development, when the kid is trying to attempt, when they start, you know, get involved in certain stuff, the moment you stop them from getting involved, they start developing inferiority amongst them. Like when a kid is growing, moving around, they want to touch. Because this is what they used to test. So when they touch using their arms, the brain processes what they've touched. Whatever they pick, there's that time when whatever they pick goes through the tongue, because they are testing using the tongue, right? They ask a lot of questions because they want to use, you know. So when you stop any kid, when you stop children from interacting with whatever they think is very easy for them, the moment you deny them access to what they try to get involved in, they start shrinking inside. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to do that. Now, this also comes out when it comes to responsibilities. Someone doesn't want to talk about the responsibility. Why? Because they know taking over responsibility is bad. It is already inside them. They don't know that they can do it because they weren't given space, opportunity to get it done. So they don't, It's a little bit hard for someone to grow into responsibility when they weren't given the responsibility at childhood level. It's very, very hard. It's a very serious problem. You can see it. So you should be in position to give kids responsibilities. And when they fail at the responsibilities, don't get mad at them because they are perfecting the game. It's a little bit easier. One of the biggest problems that we have in most of our countries is that we support someone up to university. This person is not contributing anything. This person is 20, this person is 25. They're still sleeping in the same house with their parents. They ask for transport and everything. And this person is 25. Now, the student or the kid goes out for the first time at 25 to go and ask for a job. They've never been interviewed anywhere. They don't even know how to look after themselves. So you have an adult but a child mentally at home, and then they've graduated. Just because someone has a bachelor's degree doesn't mean that they are psychological enough to take over life. So it starts with the opportunities and the responsibilities that we give out to children. We should be in a position to give them. You can give them the positive and the negative. The negative would be, this is one of the approaches that people used back in the days to dehumanize the black people. One of the biggest books that I can recommend is called The Roots. Roots. It was written by Alex Hadley, I think in 1992, 1995, in between there. If you're not a good reader, you can look for a movie called The Roots by Forrest Whitaker, and then there is T.I., a lot of, in this movie, they were showing how they were in a position to condition black people. They will get you and they'll say, you are Masudi. They'll say, okay, now you're no longer Masudi, you are Maliz. So they beat you. Seriously, you're beaten until you accept the name. Now, that's what you call conditioning. Each and every time you deny a child a chance, you making them feel inferior about themselves. That's how they get to, okay, I'm not supposed to take over responsibilities. Okay, now they shy away. Now, those are kids that get married and they are battered by their husbands and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to run away. Because that's the definition of life that they know. So self-image is very, very important. And you can see leaks in so many of us.
All right, thank you so
that's
much.
Why it's not easy. It's not good to talk too much when you're before people. Like people can be in position to see holes in you. It's easier to see, most especially when you are empowered in that very angle. You can see them and you're like, okay, now the problem is here. It's a little bit very, very hard. Those are women that get married. Someone turns out to be a wife and they are very extravagant because they are feeding up for the time they lost. They grew up and maybe the father could only afford to buy them 2 skirts a year. Now they are married to a rich guy. All of what they know is shopping. Now the shopping and all the spending and everything, it's not an indicator the husband has plenty. No, they are compensating for what they were in a position to lose when they were growing up. So all of what they know is spending. They don't know anything about earning. So the more and more they spend, the more and more they feel that that gap that they have inside them is getting filled up. Now that's a problem in someone's self-image as well.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. Talking about what you've just said about speaking, my father always says that you always regret what you said, but you never regret keeping quiet. And we had a show here talking about the human brain, or talking about personal development, and we spoke about how every person in your life can influence almost how you think, how you do your things, how you even make decisions. So, Doctor, how do families, environment, and even earlier experience influence self-image?
That's the core of everything. That's the core of everything. I'll give an example because you give examples because this information is out there. When Barack Obama was running for presidency in the US in 2000, when he announced in 2004 He came up and gave a very good speech in the Democratic Convention because he was a member of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
All black people in 2005, including prominent black people, Reverend Hale Shepperton, many of them, they called him and said, Baraka, we love you so much, but we don't believe a black person can be voted the president.
Yes.
Don't even waste your time.
Yeah.
Don't even waste your time. Now, the clip that you're looking at is from the movie called Roots. Now, this movie shows how they used to break down black people to make them feel that they're equivalent to slaves.
Yeah.
Now, it was called the pitching. It was very terrible. Now, they will get black people and pitch them against a horse. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They will put a horse this side and a black person on this side. And they will say, run.
Yeah.
Of course, the horse will take off very fast. And for a punishment, to give a black person a punishment, they would ask them to wash the feet or the hooves of a horse. Now, putting a human being on a stall, just like that, it's like that people come and buy them off. That's already defining their self-image. They open you up, they open your legs, they widen them, they check your teeth. Now they bring you on market, and then someone says, I'm paying $15 for that Negro. That's already breaking you down.
Exactly.
Now, self-image is someone tries to get another definition of yourself and they give it to you.
Yeah.
Now, that's how terrible it is. Now, that's why the blacks in America have tried to really deal with it. You know what they do? The chains that they used to put them and the padlocks that you see in their necks, they turned out into chains. So that's why you see most of the rappers, they have chains and bling bling around. It's a way of recognizing the change that they went through.
Yeah.
So mentally they still have that. So they turned it into culture.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a culture kind of, So that's self-image. Actually, in America, America is one of the biggest conditioned society.
Yes.
If a black person survives in America by 21, before going to prison, the entire family celebrates.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, you're not getting what I'm saying. This is what I'm going to say.
Wow.
For them, it is known to them that any black person, by the time they turn 21, you must have served somewhere.
Yeah.
By the time Michael Tyson won, because he was the first person to win, he was the youngest world champion. By the time he won at 20, he had been locked 17 times. That's why Akon comes out and he says, convict music. Convict meaning that he was a convicted fellow.
Okay.
He had been locked up. He also has a song called Locked Up.
Yeah.
So they are singing about this kind of culture. You know why? Because they think that they are supposed to live within that reality.
Yeah.
So it is turning out to be the reality and it manifests in whatever that they do.
Yeah.
It's a serious project. Actually, in America, I'll talk about America so much because I studied it for certain papers.
Yeah,
most especially how they condition black people. Now, for them, they can get to understand someone's IQ level.
Okay.
All the kids that are born within a given area, let me say maybe where you are in Mulago.
Yeah.
Mulago is Kampala Central probably. All kids that have been born in Kampala, Mulago, they can be in a position to predict how do you want these kids to be in the next 15 years.
Yeah.
So they start building prisons. When the kid is just 1 year, they start building prisons. Now they start creating and shaping up a culture that's going to ensure that this kid gets locked up.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Listen, one of the biggest books that I recommend as well is called The Miseducation of the Negro. It was written by Carter G. Woodson in 1933. Very perfect book. It's a little bit very hard for us as African people to come and take over responsibility.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that we have in Uganda, people think that politics cannot change the world. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's something that points out on the road. It's a serious psychological battle. People believe that when the politician does what he's supposed to do, he's helping them. No, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
He's doing what he's supposed to do. People don't even believe that they have the responsibility to ask the politician to account for the 5 years they've given them. So mentally, people are not stable. So that's why politicians can come and brag that I'm going to construct a road and people clap. No, we should be asking for more roads because we give you the budget using our own money. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So it's also another indicator that we have a little bit of deficits in so many issues that you're trying to do. So that's why a self-image at the core, at individual level, it goes out that each and every time you try to take a step forward, something reminds you like, who am I?
Yeah.
When I was doing my senior 6, the school where I sat from, the gentleman that had performed best had scored 14 points. And he was scoring out of 25 points. So this gentleman was the star. He would come around.
I can imagine.
They take us over the assembly. He gives up a very, very powerful speech, like a TED talk.
Yeah.
How to get 14 points. Now I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, I'm not here for 14 points. I want 25 points. So I listened to him only once. So towards the time of exams, they took us to church to lay hands on us, so that Jesus can help us get 25 points. So the Reverend came up and said, you know, those who want to perform like, I'll not mention the name, those who want to perform like Abe, you come, I lay hands on you.
Yeah.
Now this guy had scored 14 points. I didn't go because I didn't want to go for 14 points.
Oh God.
Now, those was called Mr. Deus. He came up and said, okay, please, Charles, you go and they put hands on you. And I was like, no. The Reverend has said, he's calling people that want to get 14 points. I don't want 14. I want 25.
Okay.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so because of that, it's unconscious that it starts limiting people's capacities and possibilities. People start believing in it and accepting it. And therefore, they live within at the reality. Now, that's the biggest challenge that you will ever get at any levels of relationship. At places of work, in personal relationship, in marriages and work. People not accepting that we can attempt something. Things can get better. Things can move forward. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a little bit easier to exploit people at places of work because they don't feel their worth. Who am I to be here? No, you qualify. You do qualify.
Yeah.
You do. But because you don't have it amongst you, that's why it is easier to be abused by bosses, because someone thinks that they can't make it anywhere at certain levels. So that is self-image manifests in different ways of our own lives, but in various fronts. Yes. And those who know the science of that, it's a little bit easier to help people.
Yes.
So without a good self-image, you can't amount to anything. Like for real. That's why when you get someone that has a belief system about themselves, they so much believe that they qualify. Most people believe that with the experiences that qualify them. No, you qualify. The fact that you're a human being. Now, you can't say that to a person that has grown up in a family where things are not available. It's very, very hard.
Very hard, yeah.
So, for us to go back home, and then him says, put here your report card. And it's like, how can you get 60?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I was the best. I'm like, what? You're the best in a class of idiots. Now, openly, that's how we go about it.
Yeah.
I was picked up by an American mom. That's why I have the name Cake. So she picked me up, and the time I went to Chabot University, I had a paper where I got 57.
Okay.
So we got Skype. We used to do calls, Skype and all that. We Skype, and she's like, how do you have a 56? How do you have a 56? Now, you only ask that when this child has been facilitated well. But most parents don't even have that comfort. They don't even have the guts of asking for the best from their children. Because the only person that you can help get a better self-image is a child. It's very hard. Yeah. Actually, the more you talk to a mature person about self-image, they are going to fight you.
Yeah.
No, because you're putting them in a place where they are not comfortable. They are looking at you as a threat. So mentally, they are going to get programmed.
Yeah.
Their immune system is going to look at you as a problem. So they are going to fight you. So the best people that you can help is our children. Let young boys and young girls know that they matter. You don't matter because you're a girl. You don't matter because you're a boy. You matter because you're a human being. You understand? So that's the kind of communication that we need to give out to the young kids. So that this young kid starts moving up. That's why it's very important to give them movies like The Lion King. In the movie Lion King, you have Mufasa.
Yeah.
Right? Mufasa has a young boy, Simba. Mufasa has a conversation with his son, Simba, that you know what? I'm going to go in a time. But what will you do when you become a king? Now that's a conversation between the father and the son. You understand? So when Simba takes over the kingship, he already knows because he got the best lesson from the father. That was Mufasa. Even when Mufasa died and then Scar came and took over the leadership, Simba already knew what to do. So that's how we're in a position to impart values of respect, love, courage, wanting to attempt, not fearing to take over amongst young kids. When that seed is planted amongst children, that kid will never be unstoppable. And by the way, you don't need to have a lot of money. It's not about the money. Most people think that when you have the money and you provide everything that the kid needs, you are giving them the best. No, you are weakening them still.
Yes.
It's even worse. People should be in a position to take over responsibilities from their own nature, not from the conditioning, not from what you give them out. That's how important self-image is. And it leaks everywhere.
Yes.
You can be in a position to look at a politician. Trump is struggling because of that. So it's a little bit wide, but it depends on which level you really want to look at it.
Yes, Doctor. I think me and the viewer would like to know if you actually got the points.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't get the 25, but at least I got bigger points.
Oh, okay.
And I put up a record that no one has been in position to take down for the last 16 years. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Are you happy for me?
I'm very happy for you.
And because of that, I started a company that helps young people do that. Actually, there's a school where I worked for some time, and the points had been changed to getting. I really want to show you how crooked people's minds can be as early as 5, 6. I want to give you an example. So the school where I worked for some time, and for someone to perform better in A level, you're supposed to get 20 points, right? That is senior 6. Now, we start programming kids in senior 5. And my first question was always, how many points do you want to get in senior 6? Right? And then someone writes 7 points. And I'm like, can I rephrase the question? The question is, you are in senior 5, first term. How many points would you like to get next year in November, senior 6? And the kid says, 11 points. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. This kid was already seeing impossibilities in themselves. It's something is just a year ahead, but they don't feel they can make it. So they see impossibilities ahead of them. Because, come on, if I'm first year, senior 5, and I'm doing exams next year, 2027, why shouldn't I aspire for 20 points? Why is it that it is easier for someone to feel comfortable to say 10 points? Meaning that they know amongst themselves that they don't have the capacity and the power and the courage to get 20 points. But this is a year ahead.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't think that they can be in position to plan and get it the way they're supposed to get it. The mind is already crippled. So even when you give them the best teacher, they can't change that. Because it comes from within outside, not from outside within. So you try to talk into this young kid that, please, you can't change this. It's next to impossible. Because they've already locked up their mind. Okay. That's how dangerous we can be. That's how we can get crippled at that level as well. So it shows up at various levels. Yeah, but of course in the mature people, it's very, very, most especially when you don't have a supportive environment, who are in a position to get to understand that. We've had conversations where African leaders go for UN conferences and they can't say anything. It is President Museveni, it is Gaddafi, it's a few of them that can be in a position to speak. Because when you stand up and speak, you're speaking to a group of funders that have been in a position to fund all your companies. We've had so many countries around here, in the neighboring countries, that I don't want to give examples, where people have been dehumanized to the level of thinking that leaving their countries and going to America is the best option. Because they don't see any positivity in their country. Yeah. Now, even when you get a leader, Frank or Iwanu Kyagulanyi as a president, when that person still has that problem, their life is not going to get better. Yes, like for real.
Doctor, you as a personal development specialist, you have met with a lot of different people. Can someone actually have a false self-image? And if so, how does it even show up in their life? How does it start? How does it show up in their life?
Yeah, a false self-image refers to that you're very far away from the reality. Now, we live in a very soft generation. Yeah. Even when you're speaking like I'm speaking, I have to be comfortable. I have to be a little bit uncomfortable, not to use certain words. Because I will know you women, I will know you Christians, I will know you women, you will know you homosexuals. Now, there are so many people, we have to be very comfortable with how we speak. Yeah. Because each and every phrase that you're going to have, someone's going to get affected, someone's going to get offended. You understand? So we are living in a very soft generation. But the reality is, not until when we deal with things in reality, like head on, that's the best alternative. Yeah. Now, the false image is You think you're something special, good, because your mama says something, because your mother says, I'm proud of you, yeah, you know, and all that. But when you perform somehow, somewhere, the results don't so much reflect who you are. Now you get into what we call a psychological dissonance.
Yeah.
You get, psychological dissonance is all about getting a mental accident with the reality. Okay, the reality is you want to stay in an apartment in Kololo, right? They pay dollars, but you don't even earn $1 million in a year. Now the false self-image is you try building that falsehood in between yourself, amongst yourself, until you start believing each and all the falsehood. So you start living into what you call a bipolar world.
Yeah.
There is this reality of who you are, and then there's an actual, something that is made up, right? And then you start living in a bipolar world. There's this you and this you. And so many young girls do that. Yeah, so many young girls want to show that everything is good. Like back in the days we used to, when I grew up, it was a little bit prestigious for young girls to say, my boyfriend is at campus. I'm like, oh, you have a boyfriend at campus? That's a problem. Campus boys are broke. They don't have anything. They eat portion beans. So why should you take pride in telling us that your boyfriend is at campus? Now that's a falsehood, because this young girl doesn't know that even when you're at campus, you're a student.
Yeah.
You sleep in a hall. You're a student. So that's what we call the falsehoodness. Falsehoodness comes in when you start believing into your aspirations. Before getting the aspirations right, then you start believing that you're living in them. That's very dangerous.
And speaking about that, Doctor, would you say that most people are living out a story that they didn't consciously actually choose?
Yeah. Self-image is very good, by the way, but it's very dangerous when you don't believe the actual bit of it. I'll give you another story of Michael Jackson.
Yes, please.
You know, I'm using these famous people. I have stories in Uganda, but I respect people. I'll not be in a position to talk about that. Michael Jackson becomes a star at 7 years. Gets signed up at 11 years.
Yeah.
You know, they get him from they had the family band called Jackson Fives. They had Latoya Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, Joseph Jackson, him, Catherine Jackson, the mother, Joseph Jackson, the father. They had a band where everyone was. But some of the entrepreneurs and the brand developers were like, okay, you guys are very talented, but this young boy is very talented. Yeah. So they get Michael Jackson away from them, and then they put him alone. Now they get him from the family band, and they give him a solo career. By the time Michael Jackson was 11, he was managed. He was managed like a brand. Now he lost all of his childhood experiences.
Yeah.
Now when Michael Jackson turns out 30, 40, he would just wake up and be like, I want to go shopping. Now they would close the entire shopping mall in a Walmart, because when they get to know that Michael Jackson is coming to do shopping, people, paparazzi, you know, they would just close all the entire Walmart for 2 days for Michael Jackson to just come and pick up material, like to have that feeling that I'm doing shopping as a normal human being, right? Now because you are the star, you would just come on stage and everyone's like, young girls cry and everything. He was living this starhood. He was living this life as a star, but he was also a young man inside him. Now that accounted for a lot of things that he did. That's why by the time he died, he had so many cases. So you can live out by the falsehood, that fake self-image that you make up. Because some people can rise up to it. Some people can rise up to it. That's why we have a sentiment like, fake it till you make it. You can fake it until you make it, but not until when you deal with the reality. You cannot even fix the reality because you don't have the reality. So what are you fixing? So it shows up at that level. Michael Jackson died very, very desperate. Of course, there were a lot of conspiracies behind all that, but that was one of the indicators. We also had a young man who was playing for Italy. He was a footballer, was called Balotelli. Now, Balotelli was an African. Very good. Oh my God. Very good at playing football. So he's playing for Italy. Now, in the entire team was the only black person there. Right? Good black person. But they said, each and every time we would do a mistake, they will start calling him fake names. Monkey. Now we will switch off. He will take his anger either by dribbling too much and scoring so many goals. But even when he tried to score so many goals, he got to understand, yes, even when I score so many goals, I don't belong here. Now he started doing a lot of atrocities. Now that is what you call self-defeating behavior. The self, the real self, who you are naturally, starts fighting this fake self that you think you're coming out. Now that's why people get into activities that sabotage themselves. Okay, I'll give you an example. We all know what you need to do to get the money. Number one, you need to save.
Yeah.
Saving is a very big tool. But each and every time you save, there's that thought, or so many thoughts that are going to come mentally and be like, all rich people don't have to save. Now these thoughts are going to come from you yourself. Meaning that there is a certain episode in you that recognizes that what you're going to do is going to get you through. But it's mental. It's a mental game. So you know exactly that in order to make it, I need to do this. Now when you start saving and saving and saving, now you start coming and getting that. Now that is a thought line that's coming outside you. It's not it's in there. Not until when you confront it. That's why most of the rich people, all what they have is ideas. You have the ideas, you know what they do? They bring a table of smart people around themselves. Because mentally you can't do it by yourself. You have so many things that are affecting you, that are hampering you, that are stopping you from getting there. So what do you need to do? You need to get people that are smart, powerful, and give them powers to take over responsibilities and let them act.
Yes, doctor. And speaking about that fact whereby you cannot do it yourself, let's talk about parents and guardians. How do parents unknowingly shape a child's self-image?
Parenting is the hardest part. We did a program here about the parenting master key. A parent, first of all, you have to get to know that it's a little bit hard for a parent to raise a kid whose self-image is not theirs, because this child is already yours. So meaning that all the problems, mentally, physically, they have them already.
Start from
right?
you as a parent.
Definitely, they come from you. And two, a parent has a lot of powers to define the kind of environment at home. If a parent is not a reader, it's a little bit hard for a kid to learn how to read. I'm not saying it is impossible. It's a little bit hard. Come on, they don't see any books around, right? That's why it's a little bit easier for people now to have a lot of data and leave their kids on TikTok. You know why? Because parents don't have conversations with their kids. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. We are having a discussion last week, and a friend of mine was encouraging young girls not to get into relationships. I'm like, no, that's not right. This young girl is growing. They are becoming women. They're not going to be with you all the time. So why don't you attack it in the actual way? Like, be real. Each and every time you get in this entanglement, chances of getting here, have that conversation, be real. That's why when kids start getting into sexual intercourse, they don't talk to their parents. You know why? When you have a problem, do you want to talk to your parent or your friend? Where do you go? You want to talk to a friend. So parents are not friends, they are bosses. So they look at you as a pet. They look at you as someone who doesn't know anything. So let us stop scaring young people, because life will catch up with them. This young man is growing up, the chest is getting bigger, the voice is widening, the testosterone is getting real. So meaning that he's becoming a man. So why not empower him to become a responsible man, other than scaring him? Oh, if I have a problem with my boy and he's 18 and he has never gotten in any, entanglement with a girl, I would get scared. I would get scared.
That's unique.
So when your boy talks to a girl, yes, just know you're raising a man. You're raising a man. Support him that way. Don't scare him.
I don't
know if you get what I'm saying.
Very unique mindset.
Now, it is just not until we attack things in the real way, like for real, in the real way. I'll give an example from my family. Daddy will say, yes, we don't have the money, you will not have the shoes to go to school, but that doesn't make you an idiot in my house. Now, the fact that you are my child, you're supposed to excel academically. So our motto was, please remember the status and the potential of our family academically. It was known. When they call number one, number two on the assembly, I know I'm supposed to be amongst them. Even when I'm walking barefooted. Now we have kids right now that are being picked by parents. Most parents have become professional drivers for their kids. All what they know is to pick them and take them. But that's what they can do.
Yeah.
Now, that's not good, by the way. It's a very serious problem as well. But we shall talk about it next time.
Okay.
Now, you can't even ask your child, like, okay, what is this? Academically, all of what we do with this is to get a lot of food. Simanya muchere, simanya ice cream, simanya then you go. And it's always mothers that go because they have soft conversations. I should show up at your class. I'm like, okay, it's video, right? Show me how have you been performing. Before you get the food, yes. Do you even qualify to get this food? So that's how it turns out to be. It turns out to be a little bit of tough love, but that's the only way you can be in a position to plant the seeds of responsibility amongst the children. That's how we should go about it. Yes. So let us attack conversations in a real way. Don't be like, you meandering around. No. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be with this child forever. This child is going to grow and they are going to become important. And the only person that can be in a position to test their importance is, first of all, themselves.
Yes, doctor, still speaking about parents and guardian, what common statement or behavior that damages the child's self-worth?
Now, self-worth starts with the kind of language that we use. Yeah. Because human beings, we developed a very good language. We have what we call unarticulated symbolic language. So we communicate using words. We should be in position to communicate love. Now, love is okay. Positive communication is wonderful. However, life is not always positive. Yeah, it has ups and downs. Yeah. And if you don't prepare your child to that level, they are going to be in a position to meet hardships. And they're like, what? They don't know how to go about it. Yes. So we should be in a position to speak positive, balanced livelihood experiences to the child. Even when you know that, okay, life can be a little bit positive, but challenges are going to come in. When challenges are coming in, you're empowering this child to be in a position to meet these challenges. With the potential, with the energy, with the power to be in a position to overcome the experiences that they are getting as individuals. It's very, very important. So one of the biggest ways to speak out to them. Speak out to them. 2, get to understand their world. Get to understand their world. If you want to raise them in a religious way, some of the religions are in a position to have images of Jesus, like people they believe are serious human beings. By the way, if you can be in a position to look at most of the people that have been successful in arts, in football, in music, in business, they don't get successful at 20 years. Yeah. No, they get successful at 13. I can give you a list of at least 100 people. A list of at least 100 people that made it at 7, that made it at 8, that made it at 9. Now, for us, because we believe that becoming successful is only by academic, you go, you study, you get a diploma and all that. No, that's not it. People can become successful at 7. Because success is not about success. Okay, what we call success in most cases is the external attractions. But before the awards that we get, the recognition that we get, but that's not it. That's not it. Success is you becoming a master of what you want to do. Now, what people call success are just accomplishments. When you become successful, the world awards you, or you get rewarded, maybe by a trophy, maybe by a title. Now, that's what people call success. But success leaves marks. People become successful at 7. You can get to know by the way. That's why last time I was in position to tell you that we can get in position to see someone's IQ at 2 years. It's a little bit okay. So if you look at people that have been successful in music, in sports, in arts, in politics, there is that very time. Can I give you some examples? Yes, please. Maybe just mentioning names of people. Then we try to go through them.
I think we've spoken about Messi.
Yeah, we talked about Messi. We talked about Messi, that Messi becomes successful at 5. Yeah. Now, when you're supporting Barcelona, for you see Messi at 20. No, Messi was successful at 5. At 5. That's a project that someone was in position to start at 5. Obama got successful the moment he married his wife, 1982. Yeah. No, people started mentoring him. Choosing even the courses, specifically the courses that, you know what, we are positioning you for this. Yeah. We are positioning you for this. We are taking you here. All of them. We just talked about Michael Jackson. Yeah, yeah. No, maybe let's get it up here. Chameleon says that his father used to beat him because of music. He He used to beat him. He used to take him to Kawepo police station. Meaning that there was something already inside him.
Yeah.
Now, for us, we think that when someone graduates, they get a bachelor's, and then they start life at 25. They start looking for jobs that are nowhere in this country. We start defining success at that level. No, success is a process that we are in position to take on. But the most perfect and motivating factor that can be in position to help someone become successful is the value they attach on themselves. When I know I am pricey, when I am expensive, when I know I qualify, like I am supposed to be here, this is me. You know, when someone shows up in spaces when they don't have the inferiority complex of trying, okay, let me go and try. No, they will never make it.
Yeah.
They will never make it.
Bad idea.
So,
Don't try.
you should be in position to enter into projects with boldness because you know you qualify. But the moment you say, Mama, can you no, you're already weak.
And adding to that, or continuing with this, we're still trying to see let's try to see how we can help actually parents. Because these kids or parents of nowadays are grooming kids who are going to be the future of tomorrow. And I feel like this is the best conversation anyone could have, because this is where everything starts from: the career, the relationship you get in, whatever you want to do, the business you're starting. So, doctor, what's the sign that indicate that a child is struggling with a poor self-image?
The fear of failure.
Okay.
Yeah, fear of failure. Fear of failure. Fear of failure. Most people may look at it just like fear of failure, but it's big.
It is.
When someone doesn't want to fail, when someone fails and they don't try again, that's a sign that someone will not go far in life. I am being honest. When someone tries something and they fail, and instead of trying again, they quit, they are not going to go anywhere in life. Like, for real.
Yeah.
All people that have been in position to go beyond others, it's because they failed so many times. But because when we're talking about these stories, people think that failure just made up. No, like people go through a lot. Like, for real, people go through a lot. So the capacity or the potential of an individual to be in a position to contain the failure, to fail but still get up, to fail but still get up, to fail but still get up, that's what defines.
Still on the same thing, doctor. You as I like the fact that I like your position. The fact that you have been able to help people develop their personalities and all that. What exactly, could you tell us exactly, like, how many times did you feel like you could not go on with this? Because you have been able to change a lot of people's life, but then I'm pretty sure in this career, was there any time you felt like you could not? Did you feel like there was a time you fell at it but you still went on with it? Yeah,
many times I was fired when I was pursuing my bachelor's.
Okay.
I think I've been fired like 7 times.
7 times?
I've been 7.
Wow.
I've been fired a couple of times, but each and every time I get fired, I laugh at them.
You laugh at them?
No, I laugh at them.
People cry. People cry when they get fired. What do you mean you laugh at them?
No, I just laugh at them because I'm being honest. Because the person, I think the person that I've grown up so independent-minded.
Okay.
Yeah, I've grown up independent-minded, so independent-minded. Of course, you don't feel like, I've been fired, now I feel so bad. No, you feel it. You feel it. But the point is that when you don't have a plan for your life, someone's going to guide this plan.
Yeah.
So when I go somewhere, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do and for how long. I have it mentally in me, it's known. Right? And by the way, in most cases, when I insist to go beyond the time that I stipulated for myself, I get fired. Now, when you really want to do things that are not so much common, you should be in position to listen to that voice in you. Now, that voice, you can give it so many names. The Holy Spirit and all that. I don't want to give it a specific name because I really don't know what it means. But there is that, every one of us have it. Like, we have it. There's that voice that communicates to you that, no, you can do this. I'm being honest. I learned how to speak fluently when I was in senior 2. I was born a stutterer. Now I'm public speaking consultant. I've taught this at universities, many. So the point is that that it's not so much about getting fired. Even the people that fired me, I go back and shake hands with them. I'm like, you guys helped me. I needed this fire to burn up in my ass. I needed it. So in most cases, it's that kind of attitude that you look at, how you perceive things. Most especially when you know that you're not yet done, you're still moving forward.
Sure.
So it goes back to what I say. How do you look at failure? There are people that fail and they don't want to try again because failure is painful.
Yeah.
It's a painful experience.
Yeah.
Most especially right now, when each and every step that you take forward, people are going to say it will end in tears.
Yeah.
You know, we have people that cancel us without even us asking for their cancel.
Yeah.
Like someone thinks that they have to advise you, even when you don't need it. Omanyi Masudi Sengamba Degwe. I'm like, look at this person. They can't even manage your mudala guamukene, but they are giving you advice. That's a serious problem.
Yeah, it is.
And because we don't so much believe in ourselves, it becomes a little bit easier for you to listen to what people advise you to do. I'm like, I have this dream. I've been having it for 10 years. And you've just seen me for 2 years. So what makes you qualified to advise me? You don't even know what I've gone through to reach where I am. So I don't need your advice. Thank you. And this, I'm saying this because you should be in position to be tough on ourselves, such that we can be in a position to guard what we believe in as individuals. Let me tell you something. When you're starting up something, people will have all ideas.
Yeah.
I am most especially in our society that we've not had so many people that have been in a position to take it forward.
Yeah.
So when you stand out a bit, that's now someone is going to give you all the advice, giving you a list of all those that failed and they were better than you and had more resources than you. Now someone, yeah, she gets up. Now they'll start advising me. I'm like, okay. Now if you're not so much a big-headed person, if you're not so much convinced, if you don't have that too much conviction about what you really want to do, you can't sustain that. That's why giving up is easy. Actually, most people don't give up because they want to give up. They give up because they want to be received well. That's why I said last time that we apologize for being successful. You know, when you're becoming successful, you want to apologize to your people. You know why? Because you don't want to hurt them. Because you still want to live within their spaces. Because you want to feel like you're a tribe. Human beings were tribal. That's why you have clan, tribe, ethnic group, church, village, community. So each and every time you deviate from them, you really want to take an apology. You think that. So we apologize for being successful. We ask for their permission to take hold of what we want. But that's why you're in a group. You can't do something when you're in a group. You can't be ordinary. You can't be extraordinary because everyone thinks just like you. That's why you're in the same circle. And that's why you call the believers. Because you all believe in so many things that you don't even understand. So believing in society.
Okay.
So if you really want to be a little bit extraordinary, number one, you should be in position to step out. I've been stepping out as a weird person. Two, don't even expect support from your family. Now that's the hardest part.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Don't even expect support from your family. Don't even expect support from your husband or your wife. Because the dream is not theirs. No one's like you. No one sees things like you. So when you want to do things because your family is supportive, okay, maybe you're lucky you have a supportive family. But to most people, those that have not been in a position to get what they want, most of them have failed, not because of the so-called enemies, but because of the families.
Yes, doctor, and you've spoken about husbands and wife having to do something because you're supported by your husband and wife. Now let's talk about couples and partners. Can a person with low self-image sustain a healthy relationship?
No.
That was fast.
No, it was, come on, it's the reality.
That was fast.
Definitely. Now, if I get to know that I'm low what? I'm low life, that I'm just using this for this context. I don't want to annoy our people. If I know that I'm low life, and then I'm stepping in, figure out that is high hand, they always have that inferiority amongst themselves.
They say that within your league.
Right?
They say that.
No, there's no league. All that league is just mental. You've just made it up. It's a mental construction. You know, why do you use? Why? Because she drives and you not?
Yeah.
Why? Because she has a bachelor's and you don't?
You don't.
But nothing matters of all that. The moment you get in bed or in a home, everyone performs what they're supposed to perform.
Just a human being.
No. A degree doesn't change a degree doesn't define your body. And by the way, people that so much put academia and those qualifications high, it's a sign of a poor self-image.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Now, if people say, without this, don't come, without this, don't come, it's a sign that someone has holes, right? So they need exactly the person they need.
To feel
so they want a project now. So So they want to have a perfect project that's going to be in a position to come and cover up their gaps. I don't date like that. I don't date like this. Now, that means you should be in a position to get into a network. Because serious relationship, you get one person and you stick together. Even when they have weakness and all that, you grow together. You learn to love each other. You learn to grow together. But low self-image or poor self-image in relationships, that's the basis of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Like for real. Because I know I'm a low, maybe I'm at a certain level, and you're working. And you come back at 10. Maybe you've dated an accountant. She comes back at 10. And the boss or a company car drops you home. And I got him at 5. How are you going to be in a position to have a conversation with this husband of yours that you left at home and is comfortable? And you can make them understand that. What about a man that works in an environment where there are so many women? And because this wife knows maybe she doesn't fit, so she thinks that maybe the boss has so many girls around them, is dating them. So people will be in a position to show their insecurities. So relationships crash and they get damaged because this person believes that they do not qualify to have that person. Actually, the basis of poor relationships and domestic violence is not money, it's not everything. No, it's poor self-image. Because I don't feel comfortable that I can have you by myself. I don't feel comfortable that I can provide. I don't feel comfortable that I am a man enough. So because of that, I look for ways to compensate for that. And the compensation is always negative because I look for things that so much cover up. One of the biggest, let me say this, one of the biggest part that brings that is when a person is not sexually strong. Most men that are not sexually strong, they batter their women. Because they know, come on, I'm a man and I can't perform to the extreme. So how can I show you that I'm a man? Some of them compensate by buying a lot of toys for their women. They buy a car, second car, third car. You know why? Because I know when I get into this relationship as a man, I can't satisfy you. But I need to show you that I'm a man. So what do? I buy you toys. A pinky car, a brownie car, a black car, and I buy you so many hues. That's compensation. Because I know I'm not good enough somewhere. Now, some of them go physical. And the first year, they beat you up because they want you to appear crooked and all that. So self-image is everything.
And
it's everything.
Still on that, Doctor, how can couples help each other? Okay, since I am in a relationship and I'm dating someone whose self-image is really, really low. So how do I help out this person to rebuild their confidence and identity or their self-image?
You can only help someone who wants to be helped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most especially in mature people. For kids, you can force and all that, but you can only help someone that is ready to be helped. You cannot help someone who feels inferior. Now, there's that inferiority complex that people have about themselves. We're like, like that, right? No, someone's got to protect themselves. Even when I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and can I give this example? It's not so good.
Yes, please go ahead.
She had issues with a bad smell, and they are married, and she was a very smart young lady. So the friend was like, "Hey man, my wife has issues. How do I talk to her?" No, it's not that easy. Like for real. Like, it's not that easy. So how do you go about it in a respectful way, in a respectful manner? It's not easy. Like, it's not that easy. But the fact that you've chosen to spend your life with this person, helping them should be the best alternative. Because at the end of the day, you should be in position to bring them. Which pest do you use? I had that problem when I was at Chambogo. That's my bachelor's. My friend was called Kalinzi Vison, and he was coming from Ankole. So I was in class discussing, I think we were talking about human growth and development. And the lecturer was like, Charles, I'm not coming, I'm coming late. Can you please be talking about Eric Erickson and Sigmund Freud? And there, So I was in class discussing many all of East Chamber University, many all of West, I don't know, maybe, So I was discussing, a friend of mine was sitting behind me saying, Charles, after my presentation, you have a problem with your teeth. I'm like, okay, man, your teeth, you have a lot of yellow stuff on your teeth. That's my friend. I abused him. Like, I went off Ngaki ne kinyankole tebina magezi bulijjo. Like I started getting all the negative information I had about Banyankole. Right?
Like,
now I go home, I go back to my hostel and I look at myself in the mirror. Oh my God. It was terrible. Like it was terrible. I was looking like I was supporting any alien. So the point is that we should be in a position to take on the reality. Actually, I've never had any friend in my life that has ever held my back like the gentleman. Now he works with URSB. Like he was that open. He would be in a position to say weakness and talks about you. Now, he really liked me because I was helping him with academics and all that. Yeah. But he was a good friend, like a good friend. He would say weakness and call you in private. Like, hey, Charles, I want to pass at your place. Like, but today you're in a lecture. I didn't like this. Why do you put on the chat? Like he was that person. So when you choose to go into a relationship with this person, most especially when you've decided to make up with him, to become the father of your kids, or to become the mother of your kids, let's have these conversations. Yeah. But not in a backing way, like disrespectful way. Let's have them in a softer way, calmer way. Because at the end of the day, when you help them and they increase their value and their presence, you're also going to feel it. Yes. You're going to feel that pride in you that maybe your husband is not this guy that everyone talks about in a negative way, or your wife is not this woman everyone talks about. Like for instance, I wouldn't like to move with a woman that goes for ceremony and they pack food. Like seriously, I just can't feel that. I'm not comfortable to move out with someone and so women do that culturally. I don't like that. Seriously. I will tell you, please don't pack that. Even when I know please don't do that. Don't do that. And everyone comes up with me, they should be in position to do that. Yeah. Right? But how do you say it out to this person? How do you say it out to this person? So it's all about communication. It's all about communication. That's how you help someone. And it should be either way. The husband should communicate to the wife, and the wife should as well communicate. I had my grandparents. I always want to give examples. My grandfather was one of the clean personal hygiene up there, 90%, to the extent that he would even come and wash his own clothes. Wow. Now that was my dad as well. Yeah. That level of, cleanliness and, personal hygiene, they were very cool. Now, my grandjeja, the female, she was not that serious person. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, maybe. No, she was not that strong about that. She would be but my grandfather was very, very strong at that. To the extent, the husband would wash the clothes for his wife. Yeah. Because you'd be like, oh no, muchala wange. I don't know if you're getting that level. So, yes, we have weaknesses that we cannot be in position to undo. So we should be in position to be uncomfortable for the people that we love because we want to get the best from them. And that is called parenting. So parenting doesn't stop. When you become married, when you get married, you parent your wife and your wife parents you. Such that you can be in a position to get the best out of that relationship.
Let's speak about workers and professionals. How does self-image influence performance at work?
Now that's the deadliest one.
Yeah.
Any company. Can I say this?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Any company cannot grow beyond the self-image of the boss.
Okay.
Like for real.
All right, that's tough.
Any company, any organization cannot grow beyond the self-image of the boss. Because self-image is the top. It's like the lid that covers the top. Yeah. So each and every time you get up, the vision limits you up. And the vision is always the top.
The top.
So the point is here. When people go beyond what they thought you would get, they start turning into self-destruction mission. Let me give you a very funny example.
Yes, please.
I don't know if you can observe it. Any musician in Uganda that performs at cricket oval and they get some big numbers, they are on the top of their world. You know why?
Yeah.
Because the greatest Jose Chameleone did that. So that's the level. Cricket oval in Uganda is the highest level of success in Uganda music industry. Whoever is in a position to do a successful concert, cricket love najikubye oba bayingidde lukumi oba bitano oba bibiri kasitoka cricket over. Now that's a lead. Now that's a cover. Now any person that comes up with a company, an initiative, sets up a bar. This is how far I want us to go. Right? So when the vision bearer has that limit, you can't get anywhere. Now each and every time they start hiring people that so much think in their pattern. And it's a little bit easier to do that, by the way. You can get to know, we call it a pattern recognition in thinking, the thinking process. Maybe next time we shall talk about thinking. Should be in position to talk about the thinking patterns. Someone picks up someone that thinks like them. So if you outthink them, if you don't think like them, you're going to become an enemy to their dream. And the easiest way is to look for ways to take you out. I don't know if you're getting this.
I do.
It so much happens in the corporate world. When the boss comes up with a company, there is a level that they want to achieve. In most cases, when they achieve that, they start destroying themselves, self-destruction. And whoever comes up with a divergent idea, that template influences them not to act. And it's a very, very dangerous. Now, what about when a boss is having so many sharp people around and he doesn't want them to outshine him? You know, we have a book called The 48 Laws of Power. It was written by Robert Greene. The first number one law says, never outshine your master. Never outshine your master. Now, there are leaders that are very, very uncomfortable. And by the way, you see this at national level. That the leader is very uncomfortable to have a certain conversation. Because they know they don't have the software to get it done. Like for real. I've worked with other consultants on certain organizations, and then you have a conversation with the master vision bearer, the MVP, and you're like, oh, I wish I can be in position to talk to the employees. They're not going anywhere. Like for real. And how this person reacts most times in terms of crisis shares a lot. So successful careers or successful growth in career development and workplaces doesn't so much determine on someone's ability. No, it's so much affected or determined by the ability of the boss, by the potential of the boss. That's very, very dangerous. So the moment when a boss realizes that probably you don't so much align to what they want mentally, and they can't hook you in to the line that they want, you become an enemy and they start fighting. And definitely because they are company owners, it's easier to get you out. So as you're dealing with people in places of work, it depends on you. Do you really want to survive or you want to become successful? If you want to survive, it's okay, you can shrink and fit into the template. If you want to be successful, you should be ready to be fired. Just like me, like I've just told you. So it's a little bit very, by the way, it's not tangible, like you can't see it. Now that's what makes it dark. Because when people are aware of what's happening, it's not dark, so they don't know. But all this is happening in the dark. Like if you're not so smart, you cannot be in position to see it. But you should be in position to understand. How do you deal with someone who is on the top and probably you think you're better than them mentally? How do you deal with that? Because sometimes you also don't want to show your bosses that they are dumber and you're smart. No, that's not good. But that's why people like Kobe, Kobe Bryant is my biggest guy in NBA. But he played for Lakers for 20 years. For the last 10 years, he would determine who the team buys. Because he was their MVP for almost 10 years. So we'd say, okay, we are buying someone maybe from Chicago Bulls, maybe from Celtics. Be like, okay, can you lock his stats? No, we don't need him. Because that's why in most cases, in most companies, we so much want to talk about teamwork. But teamwork doesn't work when you have someone whose IQ is 250, and then you're asking them to team up with someone whose IQ is 70. No, you're killing their potential. They can't match. And if you're not a boss, you should be in position to have this conversation. Like they can't connect. So you're making me slow down because you want me to get to the level of this person. No, I am uncomfortable. With that, and I can't sign up for that. So it's a little bit very smart for a person to be in a position to organize that pattern or those patterns and be like, wanonose birungi.
Yeah.
So, and it's a little bit of easier to be seen by bosses. So when you're hiring people, go through their personal stories. Someone can be in a position to come up with a bachelor's, with all that. Put all these papers away. Papers don't say anything. They don't say anything.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation with this person. What do you do? What have you done before? What do you need to get this done? Where do you need to work from? Who do you want to work with? That's how you can be in a position to get the best from the employees. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charles. I think for today we're going to have that. This conversation is huge, and it's something that everybody should sit down and actually listen to, because this is how you shape your self-image, you shape your career, you shape your relationship. So thank you so much, Dr. Charles. I think we should have a continuous episode for this. And actually, I had to apologize for we started late. We had some small issues that we fixed. But thank you so much, Avio, for sticking with us. This has been a powerful and very deep personal conversation, but I hope and I know that we have got something from it. So follow your life, or your life follows the image. Sorry, your life follows the image that you hold of yourself. So I think that was it. I think that was it about self-image. I would really like to have a continuous of this talk of that day. But then thank you so much for watching. This has been Vision Voice. I think one of my favorite show, my first favorite show, and one of your favorite shows. So see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, this is Vision Voice only on TV1. See the difference. Good night.